game looks like a really great time. What is the best way for our viewers at home to guarantee they will be the first to drop in and play Call of Duty Warzone Mobile?
It's a great question. It's a great question. So for us, pre-registration is going to start today. We'll have a little bit more on that later. We're super, super, super excited. And if you're on Google Play, if you log on to the Google Play Store right now, you'll be able to start to pre-register. If you're on other platforms, please keep an eye out on all the social channels. We have the social channels live now, so follow, comment, all that kind of good stuff. And we're coming soon on the Apple App Store for pre-order. We have some incredible rewards. I'm going to talk about those maybe in a few minutes, but maybe for now, kick it over, check out some gameplay.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to go and pre-register for myself. I'm just so excited. But that brings an end to our coverage of Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. And honestly, it's been such an amazing, great time here. But obviously, before we do end all of these, we're going to try to see what kind of fun all these streamers are bringing it up over here, because we are taking up on the screen right now. I mean, this ends with us just trying to introduce the game, but obviously every one of us, we want to see the gameplay. We want to see everything that's happening here, and obviously I am with the best person to talk about everything that is happening here on your screen right now.
Oh man. So when I'm looking at this gameplay right now, for me, one of the things I love about Warzone is that vehicle play. The vehicle play, the movement, and the combat systems all tied together. I'm a thumb player. I can't do the claw myself, so when I see other thumb players in particular on the vehicles, it's a soft spot for me. I just feel great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the players right now, even if you're not on mobile, you just see this map and you go back way back 2020, and you're just seeing this map Verdansk. It's just you're basically having a little bit of a throwback from when you used to play this map, and you get to play it here on mobile. And so I feel like it's just so exciting to finally see this map back into life, and really, we're just ready to play. I know, yes, we're in alpha right now, but I played the game yesterday. It feels amazing.
100%. I think you nailed it. I think the team is really, really, really happy with where we are. If we think of the development process, we typically think about 4 stages, and we're in the 2nd stage right now, where we're live to some amount of people in our alpha, and we're going to be entering a beta shortly. So for people who are interested in getting their hands on the game, the best way to do that, to pre-register now, follow all of the channels on social. There'll be some great updates there. And we just have loads of improvements, loads of surprises too. We just have some super cool stuff coming in. New features, maybe some new gameplay. Gunsmith is looking absolutely incredible. I think players who are familiar with it, they're just not going to believe what we have coming out with soon.
And as you can see over here, we definitely have streamers that you're very aware of already just logging in, checking out Warzone Mobile. And it looks and feels amazing, as you can see on your top left screen. We were talking about this beforehand, right? One of the POIs that we really love to talk about is Boneyard, because for me, in my experience in Boneyard, it's great. It has so many chests. You definitely can get a lot of money, but the moment that you drop in, you already know there's a bounty on your head, most likely.
Me too. Boneyard for me is my favorite. I'm a player. I like to equip 2 things. I always like 2 primaries for myself. A shotgun is a must, and I like my shotgun and my sniper. People make fun of me for it, but that's what I love. Boneyard allows me to do both those things. I tend to like to hide out myself in some of those little airplane shells, wait for unsuspecting people to come in, and you know, sometimes I'm lucky and sometimes I'm not. But that's me, Boneyard all the way. The fun thing for me too, we've been noticing some people, we've been noticing Bobby talk about this a little bit earlier, is, you know, being able to go back into some of those points of interest that you like, in particular ones that were former MP maps and previous Call of Duties. It's just one of the things that makes Warzone awesome. I know people were talking earlier like, oh my God, Superstore, Superstore, Superstore.
Oh yeah, speaking of Superstore, I mean, I like dropping in there because I feel like I'm going on a shopping spree, grocery shopping, all the weapons that you need on the ground, they're over there. You know, but the thing is, it's in the center of everything. You're in the middle of everything, so if you want to go and just go away into safety, you're going to have such a hard time because you're worrying about people up top. Airport is right there, Boneyard is right there as well. So I feel like for me, like since we're seeing Boneyard right now, it's kind of like a safe little spot because it's right off to the side, but you still get really good loot as well.
Totally, well said. And for me, one of the things I love about Verdansk as a player is there are these mix of different ranges. You have really close quarter, inside combat, things like Superstore. You have some long distance sniper areas. Some people I know like to go on top of dam and try to pick off some enemies. And then you have things that are great for AR, you know, that mix of ranges. So it really is kind of like, you know, choose your own adventure. How do you want to have that kind of gameplay?
Well, talking about the gameplay that we have right now, we definitely want to have a little bit of a look into the different streamers that we have, because obviously you can see here the duo. We got Hawks, we got Bobby Plays, and they're definitely really known in the scene, especially when it comes to mobile. And so it's really exciting to finally see these guys enjoy the game, because we've been talking about this for such a long time. And I really asked Bobby, are you going to be here in this event? I saw your invite. I wanted one as well, but obviously I sneaked into the COD Next event and was finally here, finally able to you know, see the alpha. But hey, since we're here, taking a look at what's going to happen here on the right side of your screen. You're taking a look at the map, and it's like, it's exactly what we saw in Warzone.
Totally, it's getting to one of those end crunch periods. This is my favorite. The circle started to close, not yet final circle, but it's definitely that time. You got to be a little bit strategic and smart about your choices. There is a penalty if you get a little bit too aggressive.
And now, speaking of being aggressive, it's like we were talking about it. It's really a matter of where you drop, because obviously the tier 5 loot zones, the tier 4 loot zones, you'll always have that risk, but obviously the reward is a little bit more high. I mean, especially if you're going to be dropping at the very ends of the map, at the very end sections of it, where, yes, you might not have better loot, but you might have a better time not really looking for those kills. But the best thing here is you need to find that middle ground in every BR game that you have. For here, cash is king. You need to buy out, go and find a way to buy your fallen teammates, because we've already talked about it before, or maybe even meet them in the gulag later on. I'm really hoping to see a gulag feature over here. I want to see it.
Me too, and looking at the mini-map here, there were just quite a few red dots around. Something tells me we're going to see the gulag pretty soon.
And now we're talking about the weapons that they have over here. Obviously, it's something that we've seen already. The Fennec, I feel like it's going to be a really good gun. And speaking of, there you go, gets one. So that's a really good start. So hard up. We can see Bobby Blaze. I mean, it's just like Bobby Plays has been such a tremendous name here in the mobile scene, and now he needs to get out, because he's going to be in big trouble, especially going out here with no cover whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. He's living dangerously. I don't know, Bobby. I'm worried for you, man.
Yeah, Bobby and Hawks, they need to find a way to, you know, just get some cover. There you go, finds one. Gets the kill, and that's going to be really good for them so far. So again, so far so good, and I'm really looking forward to kind of just talking to the guys later on after this gameplay, right? I feel like they have a lot to say.
Me too, super curious to hear. Also curious to hear how this interaction here ends. I want to go back to one thing you were saying earlier with the loadouts. One of the things for me that I just absolutely love about Warzone is being able to have this little in-game economy and the strategic choices that happen as a result. Sometimes I want to get my own loadout. Sometimes, no, I'm all about buying a new score streak, leveling up, helping my squad that way. There's a really nice element of strategic choice, and it's ones that we know players in Warzone 1.0 on console and PC, they just absolutely loved. And, you know, in mobile, there's really nothing quite like it. So just can't wait for players to get their hands on that.
Oh, most definitely, because I had my hands on it yesterday. I'm not very good at it, and that's why I'm being a shoutcaster. I'm just kidding. But really just playing the game and playing Warzone in general, it feels as if you're playing the same thing on console and PC. And so that's such a huge deal, especially since you're putting it in such a tiny device, tiny but powerful device, and to have the same thing here. Not only that, it has its unique aspects as well. I think we've already mentioned it before. Mobile, yes, even though you already have it, Warzone is here, it has its unique features.
Big time. And when we started making the game, we listed out all these options. We could make something that was totally not connected. It was its own mobile experience, no connective tissue to Call of Duty console or PC. And on the other end of the spectrum, we could do an exact port, something that felt exactly the same, had, you know, same experience, same economy, same everything else. What we decided in the end was, you know, there are different principles that we want to achieve. We want to make sure on the core game, so here, the moment-to-moment gameplay, it feels just as good as Call of Duty console, because really, for us, that's the best shooter in the world. We want to make sure that we're rendering that properly on mobile. We just think there's nothing better. At the same time, For mobile players, there's certain customizations that are really important. Sometimes on the event side, or what we call internally the live ops side, but also just on the controls. So we want to make sure we're taking those best of both worlds and adding them together into an experience that just feels like nothing else on mobile. We think we're on the right track.
Yeah, well, speaking on the right track, Noah from YouTube getting these kills already, and it's our first time seeing him right now. So again, where he's at, it's going to be a prime spot because it's not going to be too crowded, as you can see here, but you can also get really good loot. So that is definitely one thing that you want to have. And now for him spoiting all of these, I can see the movement is very much like Warzone. I feel like for me, that was one of the bigger questions. It's like, what's the movement going to be like? And you can see here, it's good. He's done. He's already kind of felt the game pretty right to the fact that he can get a lot of these kills. And so how was it like trying to transform into the movement coming in from Warzone, going in here to Warzone Mobile?
That's a great point. We thought movement, that's one of those things. Movement and really the whole combat experience, it's something that we just felt like we don't want to mess with it too much. It's so special. It's what makes Call of Duty Call of Duty. So for us, it's about rendering that in the right kind of way. And again, not totally there, but man, we're pretty happy with where we are at this alpha stage in the development process.
I'm just so excited to see every one of these streamers just ballot it out.
Obliterated Godsley earlier, and he didn't really stand a chance. Noah managed to outcamp us. Wait, there's multiple people, multiple directs.
To the gulag, but you know what? It's okay. It's fine. A lot of these gameplays happening right now. So far, how are you feeling right now, Matt? Like, you're seeing all the gameplay. It's been crazy here so far.
Great question. You know, feeling really good. Feeling really good. We still have so much longer to go in terms of development, but right now, you know, we know people are loving the game. We know people are excited to get in there, and more than anything else, at this point, we want to make sure the moment-to-moment action is just good. For us right now, moment-to-moment action, and you know, the other thing that's worth touching on a little bit is cross-progression, really breaking down what that means a little bit.
Absolutely, that cross-progression. If you are at home, if you're playing Warzone 2.0, if you're playing Modern Warfare 2, that progression that you have over there, it can transfer over into Warzone Mobile, where if you want to grind for the Battle Pass, you can do so at the tip of your fingers. Yeah, that's right. If you have things going down at home, you can definitely bring it down into wherever you are. If you're on the car, you can grind for it. So again, so many new things. And for me, I think it's such a revolutionary thing for this to happen.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we were talking the other day around like, well, what does that mean? If I'm a player, cross progression, how does that benefit me? And there really are a handful of experiences we think are just made better by cross progression. So I want to talk about those just for a little bit. The first one is, let's say I'm playing for, you know, a couple days. We have some new functional weapons that are unlocked. If I'm playing on console or PC or mobile and have a long session, maybe I, you know, do pretty well, then I unlock that functional weapon. That time investment that you just made, that now carries over to all the other platforms, regardless of where it happens on. So think about the time save there.
Exactly, not just that, you're interconnected. I mean, we like to say it again and again because it's just a revolutionary thing to have. But I know you have something else in mind because you have so much new features here, and we're only in alpha here. So again, we're just talking about all the main things that's happening right now.
Exactly, and you know, so that's the first one for me. Unlocking new functionals, it's fantastic. It saves me a lot of time. The fact that whatever I unlock on one platform, I find on the other platforms. The second one for me that I think really is just super cool and also is very player friendly, which is one of the things super important to us, is shared battle pass. So let's say I've leveled up the battle pass on one platform. Say I'm playing on mobile, you know, had an awesome session with my friends. The next day, all that progress again carries over. So the stuff I've unlocked and my level, just those benefits now kind of really carry over with me. And the final one I just want to talk about for one sec. Let's imagine over the years, I've built up a group of people. Now, some I know in real life, maybe others I've met playing. That friend group, so the chats and the larger social experience, now they're going to carry over across platforms and across our sessions. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because we can, honestly. Other games can't. And also because we just think it makes for a better social experience.
And now that social experience is definitely really important because it's the first time that we can cross over finally from mobile to PC and console. So if you're playing a game, you can literally just call up your buddies, message them, and there you go. They're gonna know you're playing. Hey, what are you doing? I'm playing Warzone Mobile right now. No way, you're playing us from your phone. That is just absolutely revolutionary stuff. And so with things like that, I'm really excited to see how it progresses later on into the game and really just excited for its launch. And now, speaking of, we're taking a look at our duos yet again. So we're going back into the gameplay where we're taking a look at Jokesta. And with everything so far, I don't think we've touched up on vehicles that much anymore. So, I mean, yeah, the ATV, you got it right over here. You have the classic vehicles that we got to see in Verdansk the first time.
Exactly. One thing I love about the Verdansk vehicles too, a lot of differences. Helicopter, slow trucks, fast, quick ATVs. You really have the whole experience. There's nothing better for me too than helicopter. I don't know about you, but I'm a helicopter person.
I agree with that. I mean, it's the fastest route to go in there, but if you need to be ready, you have to go and drop right now. Especially if there's going to be a javelin just pointed at you, you make sure that you get out of the helicopter ASAP. But again, when it comes to finding those vehicles, you need to know the map very well. I mean, you can already definitely look online where to find like the great moments and the great spots. And for me, I feel like that's going to be airport. Around airport, you're going to be having a lot of vehicles right now. And so right now for this particular time, now they're slowing things down just a little bit. We've noticed it. And for me, like I feel like for this duo, they prefer just going into the outskirts just a little bit.
Exactly, yeah, I think they're smart that way. They loot, they get what they need to do, always staying together, but then occasionally, once they have what they need, they're waiting for the next circle to collapse, they're finding those areas in the map where maybe the action's a little bit lower. After all, you know, last people alive win.
Exactly. I mean, it just depends on what kind of gameplay you really like. Are you going to be aggressive? Are you going to be dropping down Superstore, Boneyard, downtown, or do you prefer the outskirts and beyond the mountains and try to see what is going to happen when you are going to see just a little bit of a step back? But obviously, it does have its risks. You won't have as much loot going into it, and you won't have as much kills.
Exactly, exactly. Final thing, getting into Storage Town, circles collapsing. For me, this is the intensity that I'm looking for. Man, it's my favorite.
Same. I mean, it's really just a strategy that you can play. For me, I'm the type of player that goes outside of the circle, going into the smoke, going into the outside of the zone, and try to have like a better angle there, because once the circle's zoning in, you basically don't know that anyone's going to stay out there. People are just going to assume everyone's inside the zone, right?
Exactly, 100%. Those are the real savvy players, that gas mask, slow lagger behind.
Yeah.
I die to them all the time.
I mean, prior to this event, I was looking at the top 200 Warzone clips of all time, and I just saw one. I hope we get to see it here in Warzone Mobile, where you get to see so many more highlights from outside of the zone, repositioning themselves, especially at the outside of the zone. But hey, take a look at that. Speaking of another highlight, we get to see it. Noah from YouTube tries to go in there, getting all those kills. Really just breaks the armor, but doesn't really quite get the kill just yet, but then obviously has the advantage of the scope. Not only that, high ground as well. So I feel like we haven't talked about the high ground so much here because it's just so important to have that kind of height.
Exactly. The way we think about it internally is, how do we find the right mix of gameplay experiences? So you need that close quarter combat, you need long range for sure, but the way you combine those two with verticality in certain dense areas, that is special. And I think for Verdansk, especially the area we have, the area we're in right now on the outskirts of Storage Town, it has that in spades.
And now with that in mind, I feel like you have all that verticality. What part of the map do you think is best when it comes to having that height advantage?
It's a great question. So for me, it's actually the area we're in right now. I love the intersection or the kind of borderlands between Storage Town and Boneyard. I think it has the best of all the environments. So for me, when I'm playing, start in Boneyard, head up to Storage Town, and if I'm lucky and the circle abides, stand in this area. And you know, I'm just so proud to say that starting today, as we've said before, you can pre-register for free on the Google Play Store. And for players on iOS, just stay tuned. We have incredible rewards coming up, and of course, we'll be able to pre-order on Apple App Store as well.